Hello, everybody. Come on in. It's Friday afternoon. You're live here at MDF Studios, the MDF Castle here, and yeah, looking forward to. Hello, Penny. And yeah, we're getting some fun weather here. We got some snow overnight, and then it's kind of warm, slushy, and now it's starting to get cold and blow a little bit. But I was telling Jenny and Delaney this is why I like winter, because every time you look out the window it's something different. So you don't know what you're gonna get. I love it. It's either this will be an easy day, or this is gonna be an adventure. But you gotta look at it all positively, right? And then it makes it more fun when you visit those warm places and or have these beautiful sunny warm days, right? Hello, West Virginia. Our son Elam might be going to West Virginia for the summer. I'm so excited for him. He's talking about working at a camp. I think it's an old Boy Scout camp that's now like a adventure camp, doing some whitewater guiding. So yeah. So I'm hoping he does that, because this is his chance before he becomes a real adult. Hello, Western PA. What up? What up? Ontario. Oh, I love Ontario. I feel like, tell me if I'm wrong, Vermont. Oh, you guys have all good spots, right? Must be potters. Must be makers. But yes, Ontario. Let me know. This is my guess. Is I am predicting there's going to be a lot of Canadian people coming to NCECA this year and hauling a whole bunch of stuff back, and that way you can come across the border, buy some fun goods, and not have to pay those tariffs. Oh, Portugal, Atlanta, Indiana, Russia. Hello, Russia. Thanks for joining us. What time is it in Russia? It's got to be 14 hours difference, maybe? I'm not even sure. But yeah, it feels like what I imagine Siberia to be like outside, really cold and blustery. Actually, no, it's not that bad. This is pretty good out there. I just went and got some lunch and ready to go. So yeah. Yep. Newfoundland. Wow. That's an area of the world that I really want to go to that I haven't been yet. And we just made it to Maine like last year, south of you, I believe, right? And so I want to go up in there. I love the water, and I love Canada, and I'm glad we're close. And yeah, so hopefully sometime soon. But yeah, we're looking forward to having a trip in a week and a half or so to Arizona, visit a few studios, and then actually just prior to that, I keep saying that first, but prior to that is Glacier Con. Everybody excited about Glacier Con? If you're not familiar, go check out Glacier. And Jessica and Kevin, they run an amazing event called once a year, Glacier Con. And I think they have like 40 different companies, manufacturers, people that make products from their garage or basement or from their castle. And so they'll be all doing demos. Oh, you just received your first Wallie. Yes. And yeah, now we got new ones. So soon you'll all be finding out through email. We are going to be releasing 4 new sizes. We had them at Glacier Con. A lot of them recommended by all of you, and Debbie in particular. So I'm imagining she has a cutter. Wanted a 5-inch round Wallie, and let me just turn this just a little bit. So so she requested this for fits a candle holder, ideally is her hope. And so yeah, it's so that is what she's hoping for, and we got it, 5 inch. So yeah, there's so many ways to use the Wallies, like all the forms, and that's what I like is the versatility, and also why I like simple shapes like rounds, because you can have so many more options when it's a basic shape. Where if it's a specifically shaped, like say like a Christmas tree, you're pretty limited to getting outside of what a Christmas tree might be, right? So it's like all people's automatic reactions. So you can make all kinds of things. One thing that I hope with these pieces too is like to be able to stack them on top of each other to make taller vessels. And a lot of you have requested us to make mug forms like this, but I think it's a little bit too complicated for mugs. I think there's too many other better options that are as cheap or better, like cardboard tubes. So I don't see that's worth the effort of making that. And they're little because you expect them to be cheap, but there's all different little parts, so then they would be expensive. But I do think these would be great for making, like baking. Yuntine from Laguna, and she's also an amazing artist on her own. So she's been going around doing workshops in California, and they just did a flameware class. I'm not sure which other clay companies make flameware, but basically it's a clay that can handle a lot of thermal shock, and so you can bake with it, or you can put it on your gas stovetop or range and cook with it. So I'm really hoping to develop some more pieces specifically for that. And so with that is to be able to take either RD2s or OGs and be able to make a lid for it. So yeah, right? Little Dutch oven, little no knead bread, baking vessel. And so yeah, so that is kind of the trick. So I'm going to just explain today, or do a little demo today, doing a couple different methods, just using these new rounds. We have 4 sizes. Haven't really even explained what they were yet, but we have a 5-inch, a 6.5-inch, a 9.5, and an 11. So all these sizes basically fit with our regular sizes that we have in OGs and also RD2s. And so hopefully they will match together and give you some more options. So I hope you're creative and find some solutions for that, or maybe it's a good option. But what I do think is about, one other thing I was hoping to maybe make is some, what are they called? Steamers, I think, where you can make like steamed dumplings. So you could make different layers that would stack on top, like different ones that would stack on top of each other, so that you could maybe make one with holes in the bottom that then stacks on top, or maybe a couple, so the steam goes all the way through up to the top. But you can make different things as well. So I love these food options and ways of kind of fixing or figuring out some of the problems of making objects that will work for the current culinary demands. So yeah. So hopefully these will be good for you. And if you hang out till the end of this little demo here, I have some other special news. So you may want to hang out for that. And so yeah. But anyhow, let's get to it. Anybody have any questions in regards to Wallies? So the typical way you would use this Wallie, the reason we're calling them Wallies is they have this walled edge, right? And so it's going to create a container that has a walled edge. So really nice for liquids or things that you want, like chips and salsa, like or guacamole, where you put the chip against the edge and then scoop. And so it's kind of a nice way to make a stopping point for your food, whether it's liquid or whether you're trying to not use a knife or a fork to put your food on your other piece. So yeah, but so Wallie's walled edge pieces, and we are gonna. I think I'm just gonna save that slab there. So what I like to do is I don't know if this is gonna be enough. It's gonna be close. Is to try to make the slabs that will fit what you're trying to do. I didn't really, in this case, I didn't really plan it out because I keep changing my mind on what I'm gonna make. So I got invited to do put some pots into a gas kiln here in the area in like 10 days, and so I need to make some stuff for that. And I thought, ooh, maybe some of those soup bowls, baking dishes would be ideal. Unfortunately, I don't have any flameware clay, but still would be fun to make it with this whatever clay that I have. See how it works. So I'm just going to move all my other slabs over here. Let's focus on this one. Hi, Peggy. So I got a 1/4 inch thick slab. I'm using speckled buff, one of my favorite clays to use, made by Laguna. Other companies make very similar recipes, so speckled buff is where I love. And I actually started to recycle some clay. I'm finally, after it's been a long time here, so got about 6 buckets worth of clay that I'm gonna kind of recycle. So. I would just, good question, Penny. Penny asks, who makes flameware clay and how do you ask for it? I know Laguna makes it for sure, and that's the only one I know for sure. I'm imagining all of the clay companies make it, but it's probably specialty batches, so they don't really promote it too much. So I would just ask them if they have flameware clay. I think that's the common industry name for that. But I love it. It's like you could make, instead of using like cast iron, you could make your own pieces, much like a cast iron pot and or pieces. So yeah. So this is Laguna speckled buff, but yeah. So, but flameware, yeah. Linked by Laguna, yeah. And I don't know if they have it in all their branches. I know they have it in the California location. So there's so many things out there, right? But really, I have used this. I think it's the speckled buff. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. This is speckled buff I've used on my grill before. Pieces that you're not. Glaze may not turned out quite right, or you're not too concerned about it, experiment with it, and it's amazing how, the clay was fired at almost 2,000 degrees, 2,200 degrees, so it's like Fahrenheit, so it can handle some heat. But it's just a matter of how tight those particles are fused together, and whether it will have a hairline crack if it heats up too quickly, or expands or contracts, stresses the clay and makes it have a hairline crack. Peggy, oh, you know AI? Oh wait, no, that's Al. Oh yeah, you have to call him AI. I love it. Good question. Let's do a minute on that. Prepping for your first time at NCECA. I know a lot of people around here, it's going to be their first. I think this is my advice, that I try to, I think if you break it all down, it's not quite as overwhelming. And yeah, okay, good. So Penny, sorry I got sidetracked here. Penny, she's put it on the grill and it's worked with no problem. Yeah, see, so yeah, it's so you don't really, I don't think you have to buy it's just a guarantee, and it's a different type of clay. It's got a little more, looks like a little more of a characteristic of a like cast iron. It's kind of a dark clay, I think, the flameware pretty much, but so you'll feel better. You'll feel like it's going to be better, but ultimately all the clays can work. Not all of them. Some. But back to Peggy. So I would break down NCECA, and basically there's a resource hall, where is the fun spot where all the toys are, all the tools are, shopping, a lot of demos happening. There's about 200 booths, and so a lot of people, they hang out there most of the time if they're in NCECA, and there's all different, each different manufacturer that's inside of that resource hall has a different schedule. And you could, if there's a certain one you really like, they'll publish a schedule ahead of time. Otherwise, it's good to just, the first day is go around and figure out what their schedules are and who they're going to have demoing in their booth. And sometimes, yeah, so like we're going to have some demos in our booth actually, and I haven't quite put the schedule together yet, but yeah. And so there's a resource hall. Then that's on Wednesday. Only the resource hall is open. Inside the resource hall, there's also some gallery spaces where there's some higher level artists selling their wares, and so be ready. These are very high level people, so mugs cost anywhere from $100 to $500. So it's the real amazing work, amazing stuff, but also a lot of it, the time that they put into them is worth what the cost is. So it's yeah, high level artists. So, and so that's the resource hall Wednesday. Thursday they then open up a whole different. They have all these ballrooms that have different topics of conversation, different demos happening, and then they have a giant main stage where they have, I feel like it's either 6 or 4. They either have 3 of them going on at a time or 2 of them. But it's like this massive auditorium ballroom that has a giant screen, so you get close-ups of what they're doing. And it's all different ranges of hand building, wheel throwing, different. So they have a nice curated mix of artists. So it's not just all big giant pots. Some might be making really delicate pots, some may be making big giant pots. But yeah, and then they usually alternate in the afternoon. So there is, and that's one of my favorite things to go when I went outside of being there for GR Pottery Forums. That would be my place that I love to just kind of hang out and listen to the artists make their work and talk about it. But yeah, and so that is that, and then the lectures are all topics. They also have rooms that are like maybe 3D printers, maybe K through 12, education topics. Technology is in the 3D printing section. And then outside of the whole convention center, they have all kinds of exhibitions and shows. And some are in the convention center. But then you can, at night, you can go from business to business, gallery to gallery, art centers to universities. They all are hosting different exhibitions and have opening ceremonies and parties and so forth. So that's basically it. So ahead of time, you can look, kind of break that down. So you got the resource hall, you got the big large demos, you have lectures, and then you have exhibitions. So those are the four kind of general things. And if you want to hear lectures on certain topics of like anywhere from sustainability to how to use colored clay, how do you all different topics, current topics in the ceramics world. If you also know how NCECA is, it's going to be in Detroit for any of those may not have heard of it. It's going to be in Detroit in the end of March, and so it's about 5,000 to 7,000 people, but it is put on by art educators, ceramic art educators, mainly of the high college levels. And now there's a board that's been established, and also the director of NCECA, they have some staff, they have a small staff that works for them as well. So it's really a volunteer organization. It's so it seems expensive, but it's just so expensive to be in a space that big and that large. So it is 100% worth it, and nobody's getting rich off it. It's all ceramic people. So yeah. So I hope that helps. I would then once you kind of figure out on the schedule which are your like top 5 things you want to see, top 10 things you want to see, then you can eliminate all your anxiety about that you're missing out on something or what's happening where, what's happening when, because you'll get all bombarded by all this people say, oh, did you see blah blah, and you'll be, oh, I missed it, and but that's all, I think, all part of it. Like, you can't be everywhere, so try to figure out what you really want to see, and yeah, and if you bring AI, you'll be all set. yeah. Hope that helps, Peggy. Sorry, long question for those that aren't going to be there, but I think you should at some point. Hopefully, you can make it to NCECA. It is for all people in the ceramic world. You will find your people. You'll find what you want. You're interested in finding out about. Yeah. Hopefully, it's inspiring and motivating, and you'll spend all the money you have that you brought, that you didn't bring. Yeah. So I'm just going to cut on the outside here, back to my Wallie here, just kind of this typical way. And I can flip it over here. And I could just leave it the way it is here, or I could keep messing with it, right? So I'm going to make this one kind of just flat standard. So now I'm just going to lift this clay up. And the reason we have this form in here is for the support and something to push the clay against, right? And then we have this little groove cut in here so that you can easily kind of lift it out and release the clay from it. Then now we can push it back against. And take our wire cutting tool, and this particular process is, we're really taking a flat slab of clay, right, and squishing it over a two-dimensional slab of clay and squishing it over a three-dimensional form, right? So there's a lot of squishing and maneuvering we got to do with the clay. Hi, Amanda. Somebody mentioned you must have perked right up when Wendy. Hi, Wendy. I didn't get to say hi to you either, but yes. Unfortunately, I don't know if I'm going to be able to be in Wisconsin this year. I am going to be in Europe in April for Clazy. I hope you guys can be there too. It's going to be an amazing event. And this first year is just going to be, I think, super fun. But it's a lot of big pots, big artists, rock stars, and yeah, from all over the globe. So, but they're trying to. This is their first go at trying to make a kind of a music festival style event that's focused on clay. So, like, feel like you're at a music festival, but it's all pottery topics. I'm really excited about this one, which I kind of wasn't at the beginning, but now I've been following his work, and I'm like, oh man. But check it out, and there's so many things for that. So if you can't make it to NCECA, maybe you should come to Belgium, to Clazy Fest. And now, what I'm going to do here is it's in pretty good shape, so it is ready to go. And I will let this set up, and then I'll come back and clean up the edges. But I see one thing I'm going to do, which I think hopefully will be helpful for you as well. But sometimes there's areas that get thin. Like maybe I didn't leave enough clay for it to come all the way. So I'm just going to add on some clay here. And again, this is why we're using this something to prop against, you know, where we can push and squeeze and yeah, just press that clay right into place. You could add handles. We could add a little ridge. We're like talk about those stacking things. We could make some pieces to do that. But now here, now I got thickened up a little bit, and what I'm probably gonna need to do is fix the inside a little bit. Oh, that's pretty good. Hard to tell. But now it kind of evens out that thickness. So let's move this out of the way here. So good, they're good. And so that's one way. You can see how I made the edge pretty vertical and pretty clean. You could definitely leave like a scalloped edge and leave that outside edge as well too. It makes it a lot easier and clean. Also very clean very quickly. And oh yes, of course, Amanda. And if you can't make it to Belgium, go to Fired Arts in Wisconsin. It's amazing, an event. Yeah, definitely. So we'll be publishing more information about that as we get closer for that as well. But definitely, that's a great option. And then you'll get to meet Amanda, who's an amazing person and helper, and makes that event happen well. So yeah. And if you can't make it to Fired Arts, but maybe you can come to England right? This sounds fun. And just across the channel for me. Yeah, that's actually interesting, right? I didn't realize, if you ever want to go to the mainland Europe and you want to go to England, the English Channel, there's a train that goes from basically London, and it's a short distance to the English Channel, and then it goes right underneath the channel, and then you're up in Belgium and you don't even know it. And you're probably usually the next main stop is Brussels, but yeah. So I've made the trip a couple times actually, and I always forget how close London is to Brussels. It feels like there's this big body of water in between, but well, you can just hop on a train. Next time. Fire Expo, thanks for putting that up there. Let's see. I think we answered everybody's questions, right? So this is how, if you want to build higher, just do it in 2 different pieces. I did that was a 1-piece method. And also this could work really good for some of our pieces that have a lot of different cuts, like we have a seashell now, or a boot, and if you're having difficulties like keeping the clay thickness even throughout as you're going around each of those little curves and bends, this is another way to do it. So actually I'm going to cheat here because we're live. I have another piece of clay over there, but I'm just going to make sure I have this nice strip of clay. How big of a form can I make? Ooh, not quite. So let's make a little 5-inch one. We'll make one for the... And I think I probably have spoke about it before, but I've seen a lot of people just use the Wallies as just a starting point for making other things. Like the German artist who makes who's always at Craft Open House, she makes canisters or taller pieces, like canisters, and so then you can make lids on them or all kinds of things. So by using like larger slabs. So, and here's other options too. There's so many options, and I don't know what's better, but you'll figure it out. What's better, right? What works better for you? But in the past, what you can do is cut out a piece of, use the form to cut out a piece of clay, and then put the slab all the way down, and then kind of have to push in to attach to join it. That's the way I did it last time. Actually, I should grab my my Strasbourg. Ooh, yeah, and San Diego. Those are 2 completely different places, but both amazing. Yeah, I feel like I was in Strasbourg, or I was gonna go there. I had to go through there. That's in southern Germany, right? Let me grab a piece here really quick. You can go back, look at our archives a little bit, and I did this little little container, little cup, and this is what I was referring to where I did it on the outside. So I'm going to try it this time on top and see if it's any easier or better. But yeah, and then I put a coil on the inside to make sure that everything was join quite well. So I am going to take and just cut about the slab width. Make sure you don't get too close. And then I'm going to set this up on top. But first I need to prep that slab as well. So I don't remember, this was the one where I did a slip transfer to make these blue lines. Yeah, I really like how that turned out. I might bring this and fire this in the wood kiln or the gas kiln. So I am going to put this direction so I can pull it out. And let's put this off to the side for a minute. This is really critical. You know, you have to be if you're new with clay and slabs, if you peel this or really stress this slab of clay, it's going to show somewhere down the line that you weren't very nice to it. That's what we'll call it. You're mean to it, and it's going to tell you. So let's put a nice texture in here. Oh boy. Oh, I keep myself occupied here by changing things all the time. Oh yeah, there we go. Well, let's see what else is going on here. I want to get my ruler. It's a little long to fit on my. I'm pretty sure this is what I did for the thickness. Yeah. So now what you want to do, actually, is there any more other comments on that? Okay. Had enough of Jeff. Time for a afternoon coffee. Alright, so I'm going to compress both sides. I almost forgot this side. And it's really important. I know these texture marks look really nice from the canvas, but we want to make sure that they're not in the way. Alright, so this is what I would recommend doing first here is, actually, it's going to run right along there, is make your texture first. And these lovely MKM rollers. Ooh la la. I like that. I'm going to make a line. And I like to just use my, like a dull pencil or something that's dull that will just make a nice mark. And something about, you know, giving it a border gives it a little more love, a little more care. There we go. Looky, looky. Now, I'm going to give it about a finger width of from the bottom, Actually, not as much because we're going to go on top, aren't we? So about a 1/4 inch from my line here. And you can see this method is a little more time consuming, a little more calculated, a little more specific. But so it depends on what you're going for. You want a fast little project, or you want to make these $200 cups. And we'll hope that ooh is right on the line. Oh well, close enough. All right. Now I can take my piece here and you know, I think in this case it's not really a foot, it's a little more construction. So I would do a little bit of scoring here. See, my scoring tool is not used very often, so I might have to dig. Oh, here it is. And I'm a big fan of these Kemper little wire brushes. Get a little control. We can go along the edge of my piece here. And I'm just going to add just a smidge of water. Typically, as you know, I don't think slip is necessary with making plates and platters as it is for hand building, constructing. But oh yeah, there we go. Now, it works pretty good if you just cut down on an angle. Cuts away that. Cuts away that. We'll do a little scoring on the joint mark here. Ooh, maybe it's not quite enough. Yeah. Here's the time. Maybe I'll use this little banding wheel so I can see the whole side here. Yeah, so many ways to do this, so you can just figure out what works for you. Maybe give it a little bit of a bend on the top. And pull this out gently. Then we can take, I don't know if you can quite see that on the camera, but inside seam here. Just kind of press in there. Clean that up. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to trim this off here. So we really didn't have to measure ahead of time. We'll just trim away. Sometimes, if I didn't have this texture on here, I might just blend this clay into the bottom to give it a little more thickness. we go. But I don't have too much space to blend that clay in, so I'm just going to flip it. So now, let's put this form back in there. You want to make sure it's, you know, not stuck to that. So every once in a while, give it a nice little tug. I'm just going to leave it in there so we have something to press against, but I'm just going to do a little flip here, which might be a little difficult with this heavy banding wheel. I'm going to learn how to tap center. I don't know how to tap center. Anybody out there? You know, it just takes a lot. Takes some practice. So now I'm just going to compress that seam, blend it together. First with just my finger, being concerned where that clay is going to go if I squish it around. And really, the main thing is that seam. Maybe now from the top. Probably should have did this first. Make sure it's got a nice seal. I'll give you a hint. If you're going to do like an art fair or festival here, these are quite time consuming. So you would want to have some surface on there, some sort of decoration on there that would warrant a hefty price to compensate you for all your time. You know, if you get good at a potter's wheel, you could really, yeah, you couldn't put the texture in there, but you could pretty quickly put in, you know, make these on a wheel way faster. So this is for special projects, for certain, you know, getting a certain design here, or maybe you don't have a potter's wheel, so you just have to use your old labor. But yeah, I love making them. There we go. So now I have it nice and blended on the outside. Sure it's compressed there nicely. Now, this is my favorite trick. If you were watching the other one, you would have seen this. But what I love to do is take, and it doesn't really have to be perfect, right? So you can use a beveler, but I just take my knife and put it on an angle and cut little wedges of clay. Let's just cut a couple of them here. So that was on an angle. Now we already have an angle, so now I'll just make a straight cut. There's slightly difference, but you're going to blend them all together anyway, so it doesn't really matter. I think the less time you fret about it, and the more time you just go after it, the better it's going to be. There we go. That's plenty. So now, and maybe we'll do a little scoring here. Now we just take this, then I do a couple, and then I can pick the best ones I like. And I'm just gonna let that little strip of clay. Some people use coils. I like here because it doing it this way because one, you have the clay already ready to go right here, and then the other thing is that it's about the right amount of clay that you need. If you're using a coil, you sometimes need to remove some of it, the coil, or switch it on down the way. So it'll both work. I feel like this is a trick from Sam Chung. I don't know if that's accurate or not. Or I know after we used to make these real delicate teapots, vessels, ewers, and he's a professor. He'll be at NCECA, and his cups are high value, but he used to make these ewers. He actually was here in Michigan, at northern Michigan, for a bit. Now he's at Arizona State. A little different. And his wife, a lovely couple. There we go. And then you can even I like to take the back end of this and wet it a little bit. And if you want a little more uniform, I feel like I can see this better than my finger. So I have a little more control. There, now we build up the seam here, right? So you can handle some high temperature firing. We could press in a little bit here. Get some movement of the slab if you want. And kind of pull out on the top here. Yeah. So I know a lot of people have also talked about these as using them as pedestals for your sculptural work. So if you're not really a hand builder and more of a sculptor, and you need create some pedestals, these will also work. So yeah, so we've had a lot of requests for different sizes for different purposes, right? So this is definitely rounds or something that we can add because there's so many different sizes and uses. Oh yes, Roxy, good call it. This is my fancy Chinese half plastic, half leather ruler. So yeah, they got from the paper factory. Still trying to see if I really like it or not. I think I prefer a regular yardstick because the wood, because it's just a little bit plasticky, it sticks to the clay a little bit more. So yeah. Well, coffee and brownie. Oh, good. Yes, Sharon. Sorry, I missed it. I missed your connection to that. Oh yeah. But yeah. So I hope these new sizes are well. We're gonna have a 20% off sale for the weekend here for introduction of these, and so. There also is a 4-pack. We're calling it dinnerware. So nice variety of sizes to make your dinnerware options. And we have dinnerware sets for all the other items. So this is a good representation of a bunch of different sizes that would work really well for your dining purposes, your tableware. So here is the special news, and I have to wait till the very end to tell you. We have some special items that were like miscuts, and I even have a couple boxes of random forms that I used a couple times that are kind of get a little bit of clay on them. There's 4 boxes that are available. and also some seconds. So for those of you that watch the end here, you get a little bit of a head start before we let everyone else know that that we have some seconds. So there's not a huge amount of seconds, but a good amount. And one of the ones that I think is a really good buy is our bowl bundle. We have one that they're slightly off. They're not even terribly that much off. And so you can get them for 50% off. So it's a sweet deal. And so yeah, so happy shopping. I hope you make it the top of our lid for that. Oh yeah, I made the size too small, Penny. I think I could make it for the for this one, but the 6.5 is the smallest. I can have a 5-inch one for that too. But yeah. Maybe you already took off, but yeah. So then we can make a fun lid to go with this, right? With using our. It's gonna fall down in there. I think I better put the just in case it does. Yeah. So see how that lid will fit right in there. You can make a little well on the inside to hold it, or make the well on the top to let it sit in there. So lots of fun, lots of options. Well, I hope you get to your studios this weekend and enjoy winter. It doesn't last long, and it feels like sometimes it does, but it's only here for a little bit, and so we'll enjoy it while we can. And there, take care. Have some good fun, and we'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.